Me acompaña Janneke Hesselmans, coaching therapy with horses from Netherlands. Welcome to my channel, Canal Viva la Música from Norway. How do you do?
Thank you, yes.
Okay. We meet in the village Salento in Colombia. I was very interesting to hear from her about the therapy with horses. Janneke, tell me about this therapy because it's really new for me and I think for many people in Colombia. How you do this?
Yes, well, I did it always in the Netherlands. So I did a study or a course for it. And it's really interesting because the horses live in groups and they have such strong instincts. So the weakest one in the group is also the strength of the group. So if there's a one weak horse, then that's how the group, like how weak the group is. So they try all to get the weakest one more strong and more fit. So that will be how strong they will be again. So that's why they are always sensing others, like, hey, how are you? Are you good? Are you not good? Are you honest? Because maybe you act really happy, but you feel really sad, so can I trust that? And I think that's what we work with if we do the coaching and the therapy with horses. So we let the horses in a group, I prefer to coach and do the therapy in a group, so they can sense what's needed.
Do you think the horses coming with these feelings natural or need to train the horses?
No, I think that's natural instinct, but I also do believe it's really important to only do coaching and therapy with horses who live as close as possible to the wild, so in groups, outside, a lot of space. For me, I would never do the coaching or the therapy with a horse who's locked up inside on his own in a box, because that's not how they should live, and that's also how they lose their instincts.
Most of the people contact you to do this kind of therapy. Is special for any age, or can be younger adults or only adults?
I think you can do it with every age. I studied like child psychology, so for me it made more sense to do it with kids and young adults because I know lots more about them, and it's also where my interest is, so that's what I mostly did. But I think you can do it with every age because horses also come in every age.
Because I have seen in the application TikTok, another person, I suppose was her, but she told me no. They do this kind of therapy. I don't know exactly where in which country, but I'm seeing in this video, on these video clips, that the person do for different kind of problems, health problems, that the horses can make solutions, even if the person have a stress or have a negative energy. This is something that you do also the same with the horses?
Yeah, well, it depends on what somebody needs. So, for example, a young adult who is really troubled at home, for example, and has the feeling he or she is on her own and cannot lean on their parents, for example, I would put them on a horse just to lay down and lean on the horse and feel like getting in the rhythm of the horse, feel the warmth and stuff like that. So then it's like really physical, but also sometimes I had people with other help questions and it's more an active way and the horses help you think. So what I do, for example, when somebody really has questions or wants to figure something out, we're just gonna do something with the horses no matter what. It really doesn't matter what you do. And I will just tell them my observations. So I would never say the horse walks away. I would say the horse is walking in that direction.
Okay.
And maybe I would translate it as it's walking away, but maybe you would translate it as he's walking there to show me something. So in that case, I would work with the interpretation of the one that I'm coaching or giving the therapy to.
This is, I mean, that is full concentration with the horses and the mentor person.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay. In the health, because some persons, like in that video clip I was talking before, have problem with the tummy, or have problem with the heart, or something muscular problems. The horses can also help about this.
I think they can if you let them in, but it's also not. It's not a medical thing. I believe. I think it's really the horse will help you figure out your body again. So it's not like a medicine.
Yeah.
But they will help you because, for example, if you're stressed and your breath is really high or your heartbeat is really high and you lay down, just hang at the horse, you will feel their heartbeat and their rhythm in breath, and it will slow you down. It will connect you with them. And that will help.
In Netherlands, this is a very popular therapy with horses?
Yeah, it's getting more and more popular. But in the Netherlands, you have like different stages. So you have the horse therapy, but before that you have more like a psychologist with horses, and then the level below that is the coaching with horses. And I think now the coaching with horses is getting really popular. And the big difference is somebody who needs coaching, they can carry their own process. And I think with therapy, the people are more in need for really help.
You told me behind camera that you have been almost few years in Colombia. You know, in Colombia they use this kind of therapy?
I looked for it in internet, but also once I went in the car to drive around to see if I could find it. I saw some places around Bogota, and I read about some places as well. But I do think it's a different kind of horse therapy than what I did, for example. I think this is more, what I saw in Colombia is more about helping kids develop their physicals and everything. Well, for me it was more mental health care.
How you recommend to people do this kind of therapy?
Well, it depends. It's really, because I think you can do it in a lot of forms, and I think a lot of forms and methods are alright. It depends on the people who's giving the therapy, but it also depends on the people who are coming for the therapy. So, for example, for me it was always an exception if I put somebody on top of the horse, and if I did it was most times laying down, put a blanket and relax. But that doesn't mean that being on top of a horse isn't the right therapy. You also have people who do therapy by riding the horse into the forest or whatever. So I think there are so many forms that can be useful, but I also think it's important to study about it, to read about it before you do it, because what works is different per person, and I think you should have the theory in your knowledge if you do it, because it's not just sitting on a horse will help. Well, it helps of course as well. I think always being with animals will help, but yeah.
And another things, you tell me you've been in Colombia. How you feel in Colombia?
Good, I really like it. Yeah, I really like it.
And if people like to do this kind of therapy, how can contact you?
Well, in this moment I'm not able to have the therapy because I don't have horses here. And in the Netherlands I did it at my former workplace. But I'm dreaming about creating a place where I could do it. And yeah, then if that moment's there, it will be online, social media, internet, or whatever.
Well, this is Janneke from Netherlands, and she explained to us a little bit about the therapy with horses. Thank you for giving me this interview to my channel.
Yes, no, thank you for the questions.
Yo soy Enrique Salinas, de canal Viva la Música en Noruega.